Hello. This day in 1817 saw the first performance of Rossini's opera, The Thieving Magpie. Rossini was a great writer of operas. He wrote some 39 in the first 30 odd years of his life, and then more or less stopped. But he wrote one of them, The Thieving Magpie, under some pressure. The overture starts with the sound of snare drums, intending to imitate the sound of this devilishly mischievous thieving magpie. But the interesting thing about this overture is that it was the last part of the opera that he wrote, and he wrote it at the very last minute. In fact, he had to be, apparently the conductor of the first performance of it shut him in a room at the top of La Scala in Milan, and said that he had to stay there until he finished it, and he left 4 stagehands with him who were to meet his various needs and mean that he didn't have to do anything except write, and they would take each manuscript as it was completed and toss it out of the window, so the story goes, for the copyist below to go off and get the copies made for the orchestra. This pressure produced what is really the best bit of the opera, the overture. It made me think about the way in which we often procrastinate and put things off and have to do things at the very last minute. The best reason for procrastinating, I think, is because we're really looking forward to something and we want to enjoy the anticipation of it as long as possible. But perhaps the most destructive bit about procrastinating is if we put something off because we think we're going to fail, because we're worried in case we can't do it, or we don't know how we're going to do it. And we put it off and put it off, and then of course because we're doing it at the very last minute, we do fail because we haven't been able to give the proper time and attention to it. So it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But I think the thing about procrastination is that we do ourselves a favour if we notice when we're doing it. It's quite easy to do it without noticing, because often in our busy lives we put something off just because we're too busy doing something else without realising that we're putting it off for some specific reason. And the reason for noticing that we're doing it is that then we can ask the question, why? And I think if we ask ourselves why I'm putting off doing this job, we learn a little bit about ourselves, a little bit about our relationship with this particular task, and it's all very productive. So I don't think procrastination is always a bad thing. Sometimes we can learn a lot from it, particularly if we notice that we're doing it. And certainly for Rossini, putting it off until the very last minute produced this wonderful piece of music.